All right, so this is subtraction using a 10 frame or a 20. And so what I have my students do is go ahead and look at that first number, put the amount of objects. I'm just using pennies. You could use cereal or whatever you find that's useful in this situation. But here we go. So 4, so they put the first number down, okay, and then they take away 1, like that. And then they count how many? 1, 2, 3. And the answer is 3, right? So first we start off with subtraction within 5, okay? And I have them start anew every time. So let's do the next one. So it's 3 here. And then we take away, we subtract 2. So then they take away 2, and they see how many is left. And how many is left is 1, right? So another thing that I like to teach them is that they can easily check their work here. Because what they can do is they can add in this direction. So in other words, they can say, what is 1 plus 2? So 1, and then they add 2, and their answer should be 3. You see? So I like to teach them to also add these two numbers together to see if they get this number. And if they got that number, then their answer is correct. So that's another thing. This is a harder concept sometimes, and the concept of 0. And so we talk a lot about this. So we have 2, and we take away 2. We say, how many do you have left? And sometimes they'll say 2, or they just pick a random number. But the answer, of course, is 0. And so we talk about that. And I a lot of times will just on the spot just come up with like a word problem. I'll say, okay, so you went to the store and you bought 2 apples, and then on your way home you lost the apples that you just bought. So how many apples do you have? So a lot of times I'll just take the whole problem and just make like a real life story about it and see if that helps. And a lot of times it does. So then we do subtraction within 10, okay? So we first master subtraction within 5. Then we go ahead and do subtraction within 10. Okay? Now, I do not put these down there for them. They are the ones that need to do that. Okay? Because what needs to happen is they need to understand and feel this process so that eventually they can do it all on their own. Like with a bunch of math problems, maybe they'll get like a worksheet and they can go ahead and take their tools and do the process and find the right answer. Okay, so what I find is that as much as they can, it helps, for them to do it themselves. So they have 8, and then you take away 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, sometimes, like I said earlier, they might miscount. And so that's why I really think it's important to have them check their work. So here we go. So, 5. So then I have them add those together. So 5 plus 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This is not 9. Therefore, this cannot be the right answer. And so then I have them go ahead and do it again. Now, with this first problem, I wanted to show you something. So another thing to practice doing, and I kind of talked about this with adding a little bit, but this is great practice too, is to say, okay, here's 4, you know. Now, what if I take away 1? How many do I have? Okay, now, and you can go ahead and physically take that away and ask them how many are left, right? Well, the other thing you can do is you can have them like this, and you can say, now, what do you think? If I take away 1, how many will I have left? And you want them to imagine what would happen if 1 was taken away, and imagine how many are left. This is mental math, right? Because of course, eventually, what the goal is for these to be fluent. You don't really have to do any of this process to know that this is 3 and that this is 1 and so on. And but you know, it takes some steps to get there, and so that's how we can do that, so that we can practice that skill. And you can practice that within 5. You know, how many do I have? 5. And then just without moving anything, just leave it the way it is and say, okay, so if I were to take away 1, how many would I have? And so that, you know, hopefully that they can mentally say 4, right? And you can do that within 10, you know? And so you could say, like, how many are there? 8. And if I were to take away 1, how many would be there? 7, you know? And so there's that. And then, of course, you can even do that within 20. So, but I always start off within 5. Addition is just a lot easier concept in general to understand than subtraction. But like I said, anytime I am, you know, it's not clicking kind of thing, I will give a real life scenario, and I always use their name. I always use them, you know, so I say, you know, their name, so and so. You have 12 pieces of candy, but then you gave 4 pieces of candy to your friends. And so I kind of relate it to something that they already, you know, care about. I mean, every kid loves candy, so that's a pretty easy one. But whatever they're into, if they're into, you know, whatever, puppies, you have 12 puppies and you know, gave away 4 puppies. How many puppies do you have left? So I kind of like to use examples like that and make each one of these, if, you know, if that's what they respond to, into a story problem so that they can really be thinking about these things. And like I said, the concept of 0 might be, you know, you might need to go over that lots and lots of times. But anyway, so this is the 10 frame. This is subtraction within 20 using the 10 frame. Have a great day.